Hey guys, I'm going to do my best to help you through StudyLink 4.2 here from home. The music you hear in the background, if you hear that, is Baby Einstein distracting the 18-month-old from what I'm doing here, so that hopefully we can get this done. The first 6 problems were comparing fractions, so what we need to have is a common denominator. Here we have it. We're comparing apples to apples. We have fifths and fifths, so it's really easy. We just look at what number is bigger in the numerator. Here 4 is bigger than 2, so 4 fifths is greater than 2 fifths. The second one, we have 8 and 3. Now we don't have a common denominator there, so we need to think, what multiples do 8 and 3 have in common? We could multiply them together to get 24. We could try to think of one that is smaller than that, or we could say, does 3 go right evenly into 8? It doesn't, and there's actually not one smaller than 24 in this case, so here we'd change each of those denominators to 24. When we did that, we went from 8 to 24, we multiplied by 3, so we take our top number times 3, and that would be 9. Here we went from 3 times 8 to get to 24, so we take our top number times 8, and that's 8. So 9 24ths is bigger than 8 24ths, so again, greater than. The last one here, 4 and 20, we can leave 20, and we could make 4 20 by multiplying by 5. Do the same thing here, 3 times 5 is 15. 15 is smaller than 17, so that would look like this. From 20 to 100, we could multiply 20 by 5 and get 100. If we multiply 19 by 5, that's basically going to be 5 less than 100, or 95. So here 95 is less than 99, so that would look like that. For 4 sevenths and 4 tenths, multiply this side by 10 to get 70. Multiply this side by 7 to get 70. This times 10 will be 40. This times 7 would be 28. So we can see this side is bigger. And last one, thirds and ninths, we can just multiply this one by 3. So this times 3 would give us 6 ninths compared to 7 ninths, and this one will be bigger. For the part about circling the fraction that's less than 1/2, well, we just have to think of sixths as 1/2 will be 3 sixths, so those are equal. 10 as half of 10 will be 5 of 10, so this is actually greater than 1/2. For thirds, it would be 1.5 thirds, so that one's smaller, right? For fifths, it would be 2.5 fifths, so that one's smaller. For elevenths, if you think 5 tenths, so 5.5 elevenths, and this is 6, so this is actually bigger. And then half of 25 would be 12.5, so this is smaller. So those are the 3 that are smaller than a half. The hard part here, the hardest question, number 8, is getting these 8 fractions in order from smallest to greatest. We don't want to try and find a common denominator for all 8, so we just start comparing what we can. Okay, so we can look at, we know that 15 sixteenths is going to be pretty big, and 49 fiftieths is going to be big because those are both almost full, right? We can look at 7 14ths as being half. 1/12 is going to be smaller than a half. 1/5 and 1/3, 2 fifths are all going to be smaller than a half. This is going to be bigger than a half. So we can already kind of see what the order is going to look like here. We have 3 that are bigger than 1/2, one that's exactly 1/2. So we go back 1, 2, 3. We know this has to be 7 14ths, and then here will be our 3 that are bigger. Here will be our 4 that are smaller. We know that 2 fifths is bigger than 1 fifth. So we know that that'll come before that. And then we need to compare 1/3, 1/5, and 1/12. That's pretty easy to do because if we have one of each, we just think which slices are bigger, right? If we're dividing a pie into 3 slices, they're going to be the biggest slices. 5 slices or 12 slices. So the smallest is going to be the 1/12. Then the 1/5 would be the next smallest. Then we have to decide, okay, 1/3 or 2 fifths. That's where we can actually do 1/3 and 2 fifths. If we think about that as 15ths, multiply by 5, so multiply by 5, multiply by 3, so multiply by 3. 2 fifths is bigger than 1/3, just barely, so 1/3 would be the smaller, then 2 fifths would go here. Now all we have left is 6 tenths, 49 fiftieths, and 15 sixteenths. Okay, if we look at 12ths and 16ths, what do they both have in common? If they both would go into, let's see here, 32, 36. The quick way we could multiply that would be to have 15 over 16 and and 6 over 10. 15 sixteenths is almost full, as is, right, it's 1 away from being full. This is 1 away from being full. This has 4 more till it would be full, so that would be next. 6 tenths. And then last we have 15 sixteenths and 49 50th. So again, they're both 1 away from being full. So basically this has 1/15th open. This has 1/50th open. So which is the most full? This would be the biggest at 49 over 50. And then 15 sixteenths will just fill in there. So again, that's kind of the logical way to work through it without necessarily using the common denominator math there. For these last few, number 9, we just want to make sure we get these lined up right, and then I'll let you go from there. 13.987 and 4.09. We have to add in the zeros. So that's how that gets lined up, and we subtract from there. 5.9 and 2.068. We add in the zeros up here, and then remember we have to borrow. This is 8, that becomes 10. We borrow from the 10, that becomes 9, and this is 10, and then we can subtract. Number 11 is 0.9 and 0.077. Again, same type of thing. Borrow, this becomes 10. Borrow, that becomes 10, and we subtract from there. Last one is 8 minus 3.643. We have to add in all these zeros. Okay, we line the decimals up. Borrow from the 7, that's 10. That's 10. That's 10, and then I can subtract to finish from there. I'll let you guys take, oh, sorry, I guess you couldn't see that. I'll let you guys take that from there. Good luck.